Police continue to investigate a deadly shooting rampage at a community college, what they've learned about the suspect.
The Vatican is revealing new details about Kim Davis's meeting with the Pope, why they're saying it shouldn't be taken as a show of support.
Despite the cooler than normal temperatures and the rainfall in central Kentucky, it's business as usual for the start of the fall meet at Keeneland.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. This is WKYT News at 5.
Good afternoon. Investigators spending the day searching for answers in a deadly community college shooting. 9 people died and several more were injured when a gunman opened fire at Umpqua Community College in Roseburg, Oregon yesterday. Chris Martinez is tracking the latest details in the case in our top story at 5.
Investigators searched the apartment that 26-year-old gunman Chris Mercer shared with his mother in Roseburg, Oregon. CBS News has learned he left a note several pages long, suggesting he may have been depressed and angry.
This is for an active shooter at UCC.
The shooter killed 9 people and wounded 7 others in a rampage at Umpqua Community College yesterday.
Out of those 13 weapons we currently have in custody, 6 were recovered at the school. 7 were recovered at the shooter's residence.
Some of the surviving victims are recovering here at Mercy Medical Center. 3 of the most seriously hurt were taken to a hospital in Eugene.
There's a GoFundMe page for Chris Mintz, who tried to stop the gunman in his tracks.
Tries to block the door to keep the gunman from coming in, gets shot 3 times, hits the floor, looks up at the gunman and says, "It's my son's birthday today." Gets shot 2 more times.
Cheyenne and Alyssa Clark are friends with a 19-year-old victim who's in surgery a second day for her injuries.
She's just told me for the last few years how much she's wanted to go back to college. And she goes back her first 3 days and this happens to her. It's just really messed up.
Counseling is now being offered for all those affected in the community. Chris Martinez, CBS News, Roseburg, Oregon.
The sheriff there says plans are in place to reopen the campus early next week. We are tracking some breaking news out of Lexington right now. Police have been called to investigate a serious crash in Lexington.
Here's what we know. The crash involving a moped and another vehicle. It happened just after 4 this afternoon on East New Circle Road between North Limestone and Bryan Station. WKYT's Monique Blair is at the scene with the breaking details. Monique?
Well, Sam and Amber, I'm out here on the outer loop of East New Circle Road right in front of Golden Corral. We can tell you this accident happened sometime right around 4 o'clock. Right now what we do know is there is a large police officer seen out here. We do have a moped laying on its side, and there is also another truck here that is inside the crime scene tape. Now, right now, we don't have a lot of details into exactly what happened because we are told the police officer who is on his way to speak with us is also stuck in this traffic because, quite honestly, this accident has caused quite a bit of traffic. And then in addition to the rain, it's really just quite a mess out here. Now, we do expect to talk with police soon, and as soon as we have more details into exactly what happened out here, we'll be sure to share those details with you. For now, I'm reporting live in Lexington. Monique Blair, WKYT.
Monique, thank you for that live report. We'll check back with you. And as you see, the weather out there just a mess, especially as far as driving. You're going to need the umbrella and the jacket if you're headed out, for example, to Friday night football tonight. Rain sticking around through at least the first half of the weekend, if not beyond that. Meteorologist Jim Caldwell is tracking it all on the First Alert Defender. Hey, Jim.
It is an ugly day out there. We've been watching those showers just come rolling at us time and time again. And you can see the picture. You can see it there. Monique's report. You can see all the clouds and all the moisture still showing up here at the station as well. Right now in Lexington, and especially right here at KYT, we're at 51 degrees. We've picked up around 1/4 inch of rain so far, and we still have more rain to go through here this evening before it's all said and done. Rain will continue through most of the evening, catching a few breaks out to our east. Look there, basically from northern parts of Laurel County all the way into parts of Magoffin County, a little bit of a stripe there that crosses the Mountain Parkway. That is a dry slot that we have. The rest of it still picking up on some of those moderate showers, basically stretching from Lexington back to Danville with the latest round of it. And look at those temperatures, low 50s area wide, just a very cool and raw feeling day. Here's what it looks like up close and personal around parts of central Kentucky. The heaviest stuff now in position in northern parts of Fayette County and all the way across town, back down into Jessamine County as well. This is just one of many that we've experienced through the day today. We'll see all of this start to lighten up, though, as we head through the rest of the evening and into the overnight hours before it picks up again on your Saturday. We'll take a closer look at all of it and break it down hour by hour coming up in just a few minutes, guys.
Jim, thank you. Did the Pope endorse Rowan County Clerk Kim Davis during a meeting that the two of them had in Washington or not?
Days after Davis and her supporters indicated the Pope was in her corner, the Vatican is now distancing itself from Davis. WKYT's Phil Pendleton has more on the confusion from the live desk. Phil?
Well, the meeting between Kim Davis and Pope Francis was on September 24th in Washington. The Rowan County clerk says she and her husband were with the Pope in a meeting that the Vatican set up. But accounts of what happened are somewhat different based on what Davis is saying and what the Vatican is saying.
First of all, the meeting took place as the farewell greetings as the Pope was leaving the nunciature in Washington.
A Vatican spokesman says the meeting was simply a series of brief greetings. Meanwhile, Liberty Counsel, who represents Davis, says the Pope thanked her for her courage and encouraged her to stay strong. Davis has not issued any marriage licenses since the Supreme Court decision legalizing same-sex marriage in June. She's gained national attention because of her refusal to issue licenses based on her Christian beliefs against same-sex unions. The Vatican is distancing itself from Davis today, saying that the Pope did not intend to validate Davis's actions. Davis, meanwhile, has said she believes the Pope is on track with what she's doing. The Vatican said Davis was among a number of people the Pope met with before he left the United States.
The nuncio invited a number of guests, his own choice, to greet the Pope. Very brief greetings, and in the Pope's characteristic kindness and his warmth and hospitality, he shook people's hands and gave them rosaries. We should understand it as that. In terms of why this person was invited, you have to ask those questions of the nunciature.
Now, we have learned just in the last couple of minutes that attorneys are stating that a Vatican ambassador helped arrange that meeting, and we are told that by those attorneys, the Pope says that affirmed her action. She says that she and her husband met with the Pope and his security detail in a private room, but the Vatican spokesman says the meeting should not be considered a sign of support for her position. At the live desk, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Phil, thank you. Davis's attorneys did say that the Pope and Davis did not discuss her legal case.
A crash killed one person this afternoon in Bath County. That begins our county-by-county coverage. The crash happened about 12:30 on US 60 near the Montgomery County line. We're told the driver died. 2 passengers were injured and went to local hospitals for treatment. Police say the wet roads may have played a role in a crash that killed 2 people. It happened about noon yesterday on Highway 15 in Letcher County. State police say that Joseph Cottle and Bobby Gent died when Cottle's pickup crossed the center line and hit a semi. The semi driver went to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
Eastern Kentucky University will pay tribute to a teammate when they take on UK tomorrow. Players will wear a black patch with the letters JK on their uniforms during Saturday's game. Redshirt defensive lineman Joey Kramer died in an accident early Sunday morning in Madison County. He transferred to EKU from UTEP in August. An honor for a Lexington firefighter who lost his battle with cancer. Joe Vissing's name was added to the International Association of Firefighters Fallen Firefighters Memorial on September 19th. The Lexington Fire Department sent us these pictures of the memorial. Vissing died April 30th at the age of 41. His family and friends traveled to Colorado for that tribute. Race fans packed Keeneland today for the first day of the fall meets.
Regardless of the rainy conditions out there, track officials expected to be a busy month for the races. Our Mike Linden shows us why it could be an historic time for Keeneland.
Despite cool temperatures and consistent rain, the fall meet at Keeneland is here. For some race fans, it's always worth the drive.
I just love the atmosphere, great friends. People here are unbelievable friendly. It's convenient. It's just a good time. We look forward to it every year.
Keeneland officials say despite the bad weather, they still expect more than 20,000 people coming through the gates on average throughout the meet. As a whole, the fall meet into the Breeders' Cup at the end of the month could be historic for the track.
Keeneland officials say during the Breeders' Cup Championships at the end of the month, they anticipate upwards of 45,000 people a day on campus, and that would be a record each and every day. To prepare for the meet and the Breeders' Cup, Keeneland has hired more than 2,000 seasonal employees. Track officials say it's been a lot of work preparing for the month ahead, but it's all been worth it.
It's really been well over a year of planning that we've been doing in preparation. So it's a very exciting time. It's been a busy time, but I call it a good busy. It's been a lot of fun, and we're really looking forward to sharing this with our fans.
For Indiana native Kevin Elliott, he says he'll be back next year, rain or shine.
They could probably be racing the flamingos around the track, and I would come back here.
In Lexington, Mike Linden, WKYT.
And unfortunately, more rain tomorrow. More than 10,000 temporary seats for the Breeders' Cup will be open all meet long, including a triple-decker luxury chalet next to the grandstand, the only one of its kind at a North American sports venue. Here's a look at the most viewed stories on our website right now. People want to know more about deadly crashes in Magoffin and Letcher counties. They also want to know about Kim Davis meeting Pope Francis. You can find these stories and more on WKYT.com. The U.S. Coast Guard is searching for a container ship that got caught up in Hurricane Joaquin. The 735-foot cargo ship left Jacksonville, Florida on its way to Puerto Rico when it came into contact with the hurricane Thursday near the Bahamas. According to the Coast Guard, the cargo ship took on water, but the flooding was reportedly contained.
The crew made abandoned ship. They had to get off the ship. So 12 crew members, all Bolivian nationals, abandoned ship into a safety life raft.
The Coast Guard says that they're searching for the ship and the crew from the air and on the water.
An emotional plea today from a police chief fed up with violence in his community. Cleveland Police Chief Calvin Williams encouraged residents to call police with information about shootings and gun violence. It comes after a drive-by shooting killed a 5-month-old girl last night. In September, 2 boys ages 3 and 5 were also killed in shootings.
We need people out there in the community that are concerned with black lives, with brown lives, with white lives, with purple lives, to step out and do something and not just have chants and slogans and marches. We've marched enough. We need people to do something.
Prosecutors have offered a $25,000 reward for information in the shooting that killed the 5-month-old little girl. Duck boat tours will be suspended until at least November after a deadly crash. 5 international college students were killed when a Ride the Ducks vehicle crashed into a charter bus in Seattle last week. The Ride the Ducks company will stay off the road until the safety investigation is complete. Once they do return, they will not be allowed to use the bridge where that crash happened.
The nation's education secretary is stepping down. Arne Duncan announced the news in a letter to staff today. He's returning to Chicago to live with his family in December. President Obama has appointed Education Department an official as acting secretary through the end of Duncan's term. Experian has suffered a major data breach involving a mobile phone carrier. Hackers have made off with the personal information of 15 million people who applied to sign up for T-Mobile's service last month. Anyone who applied for regular T-Mobile postpaid plan between September 1st and the 16th might be affected. T-Mobile used Experian, one of the 3 major credit bureaus, to conduct credit checks on its customers. U.S. hiring slowed sharply last month. The Labor Department says employers added just 142,000 jobs in September. The unemployment rate remained at 5.1% because more Americans stopped looking for work. The proportion of Americans searching for jobs fell to a new 38-year low.
It's time now for better living, health, education, and consumer news that impacts your life. Families who have a rare inherited form of Alzheimer's disease are taking part in a trial that aims to uncover the secrets of the deadly memory-robbing disease. As Kenneth Craig shows us, the results of the study could lead to breakthroughs not just for them, but for everyone who suffers from the condition.
Marty Reiswig's family has a rare form of early-onset Alzheimer's disease. The 36-year-old could find out if he will also get it, but he chooses not to know.
Becoming closer and closer to the age of onset is kind of like a huge storm on the horizon. And some days I want to know if that storm is real and if it's going to hit me, and other days I'm terrified to know.
Familial Alzheimer's disease accounts for just 1% of all Alzheimer's cases. Reiswig's grandfather had it. His father started suffering from the brain-destroying condition in his early 50s. Marty's mom, Bonnie, takes care of him.
He has to be fed. He hasn't been able to speak since last June.
Familial Alzheimer's disease is caused by an inherited gene mutation.
If you have one of these genetic misspellings, you will develop Alzheimer's disease approximately 99.9% of the time.
Reiswig is taking part in the dominantly inherited Alzheimer's Network study. It recently showed that brain scans can pick up changes 20 years before the first symptoms show.
Our genetic problem might be the solution for so many other people and might actually help cure Alzheimer's.
And Reiswig has advice for Alzheimer's sufferers and their families. Ask for help when you need it. Kenneth Craig, CBS News, New York.
5 million Americans suffer from Alzheimer's disease. That number is expected to more than double by 2050 as the population ages. Hundreds will take steps in the fight against breast cancer tomorrow morning. The annual Susan G. Komen Race for the Cure takes place in downtown Lexington. Race day registration starts at 7 in the morning. You can sign up at the Courthouse Plaza on North Limestone. The race will start at 9. If you're not racing, expect some street closures in downtown Lexington. That event is rain or shine. If you are in the market for a new car, get ready to pay a little more. Kelly Bluebuck says that new car prices have increased about $660 from last year. The average cost of a new set of wheels is nearly $34,000.